Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority and my plan. This is a special edition of the Potsmoker's Bible. I won't be reading um, for this episode and perhaps another episode because it might take more than one to get through this. As you know, or as you may know, yesterday I was scheduled to be in court. So, let, let me tell you the story about this. This is why it's going to take a while. Okay. In 2007, I opened the Temple of Zion in York, Nebraska, with the intent to win the war on drugs. And I'm going to explain to you how I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do it through the concept of a video game. Because you guys all understand how video games work, don't you? Yeah, I know you do. So, let's equate the war on drugs to a video game. Because that's what it is. It's a game. It's called, well, there's two versions. There's cops versus druggies, where the cops always win. And there's druggies versus cops, where the druggies can't lose. Okay? Because it's a rigged game, either way. Now, as video games, as you know, contain certain elements. Most of them, anyway. And this one has those basic elements. They have levels. Okay? And at the end of each level, there's a boss. And at the very end of the game, there's that big boss. If you defeat the big boss, the game is over and you win. Now, in this game, the big boss is the Supreme Court. In order to win the game, you have to get to the Supreme Court and defeat him. You defeat him by proving your innocence. Okay? Now, as I said, every video game has levels, and every level has its own boss. In level 1 of Cops versus Druggies and Druggies versus Cops, the judge is the boss. Okay? Now, in Cops versus Druggies and in Druggies versus Cops, you start the same way. You start out with no weapons, no armor, no friends, no allies, and no clues. Okay? Now, the action of the game, the way you advance to the judge, the boss, is through the court system. Your first action is to get busted. Now, in the game of Cops versus Druggies, they bust you, they put you in jail, and they take you to the judge. The judge asks you a few questions. He says, "Are you innocent?" And you say, "Yes, I'm innocent." And then he asks you, "Do you want a trial by jury or do you want a court case?" Always and forever choose the jury, because the jury is your secret weapon. Okay? Because if you choose the jury, you tie the hands of the judge, the boss, because he's no longer the boss. You defeated him. Now, you have 12 lesser bosses that you have to deal with. And your weapon is the truth. Okay? Now, your secret weapon is you get to choose who those 12 people are. They're called your peers. Now, in cops versus druggies, you don't opt for the trial by jury. That's how you lose the level. But when you take it to the jury, every single charge against you is considered by all 12 of them. And you get to pick who those 12 are. So, you get to interview each and every one of those people, potential people. And you get to handpick each one. What if we all decided that the only people who were our true peers were drug users? Or people related to drug users? Or people who had such a love for God that they would protect your right to believe in God and worship Him? You have the means to turn each and every one of those jurors with your truth. Now, in my case, I did that. I picked all 12 of those people. And they had their hands tied at level 1. The boss still won. But I had the secret weapon. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I want to talk to you about these jurors first. Okay? These jurors are now your judges. And if you can convince them that you're a good person, you can win them over. You can fight each charge, and they just might find you innocent of some of them, like they did with me. Because that $500 that they had charged me with was my rent money. When I was busted, it was at the end of the month. So when I told the jurors that that was my rent money, they believed me and dropped that charge. I was found innocent. My $500 was given back to me. I won that case, that charge. I won. Can you believe that? I've already won. All right? So now, if we do everything we can in the real world to prove our innocence to society as a whole, then we can pick 12 people who are already at least halfway convinced that we're innocent. Because our actions outside of court have already proven to them that we're good people and the war is unjustified. Now, their job is to decide whether you're innocent or guilty, but the game is so rigged at level 1 that the only possible way to win the level is to take it to the next court. So, because the jury has to convict you or find you innocent according to the law and not to your true innocence, they still found me guilty. They didn't want to, but they had to because that's the way the law was written. But that was okay for me because I was trying to establish everything so that I could do what I'm doing now. Okay? So I purposely put myself in prison so that I could take this to the next level. And thanks to a lawyer named David Michael, I'm on level 2. I defeated the big boss on level 1, guys. I'm on level 2. Because the public defender's office decided to play druggies versus cops for me. And when the order came to destroy my property, he said, no, there's $230 in there. She might want that. So I'm going to go talk to her about it. I'm going to let her decide what to do with this stuff. That way she can have her $230 back. Okay, anybody who knows me knows that $230 was the least of my concerns. But I got to decide to say no yesterday in court to deny York, Nebraska the right to dispose of my pipes and my bombs. Now, on June 10th, I get to face the level 2 boss. It's the same guy that I just faced yesterday, which is fine with me because I've already faced that asshole twice and I've already defeated him twice. Because you see, the first time we got into a staring contest and he looked away first. And he sent me to prison for it. And yesterday, this was so awesome, guys. My lawyer. Okay, I had public defender the first time. She broke the law and she's going to prison. So David Michael, after reading my case and deciding to give me the chance to stand up for myself, told me that he would appear as my lawyer pro bono. He was going to do it free of charge. But one of the first things the stupid idiot judge did was reappoint him to establish that he was my legal defense under the public defender's office. So now the state is paying for my lawyer's fees. So at the end of the day, at the case, when the judge decided to go ahead and let my stuff be destroyed, my lawyer said, "No, Judge, I issue a stay of execution. You can't destroy the stuff because we're taking it to appeal." I got to level 2. So now at level 2, I get to enter into evidence, any and all things that can prove that that the state should not have the right to destroy my possessions, and that in fact they must give it back to me because it is my right. So now the ball is in. It's like now it's on my side. I'm in charge. I'm in control. And as long as I refuse them the right to destroy my pipes and bongs, I can defeat every judge through to the Supreme Court. And there are other means to do so that are already in play that I'm not going to be able to get into at this time. So I'm going to do another edition, and I'm going to go on with this. Okay? So this is part 1 of how to fight back. So, I am in court, fighting the good fight. I'm on my way to the Supreme Court, and I need your help. So I want you guys to help me. You're my secret weapon on level 2. If you will stand up for me on June 10th, in the court, in York, Nebraska, then we can stand up for ourselves together and take this fight to level 2 and win it. Because you are one of my secret weapons on level 2. The evidence, the Bible, the book, the Pot Smoker's Bible, the Book of Zion, that's evidence that I'm going to be using to free us. Because all these pipes and bongs represents us. If I can force the state of Nebraska to give me this stuff back, they will have to admit that they never had the right to take it from me, which will end the war on drugs. Because if they can't do it to me, they can't do it to you. So I'm already in that fight. Now, there's another secret. Okay, you're my secret weapon. Take me viral. Tell every pothead in the planet that I am standing up for us on June 10th. And if you guys show up, stand up for yourself, stand up for my pipes and bongs, we can win this fight. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May you always be worthy of it. I love you. Later, because I'll never say goodbye.